So, like we all know, chapter 1, Arjuna Vishada Yogaha, we know how Arjuna, he laments or he is in a state of confusion in the battlefield, wherein he asks Bhagavan guides him there and tells him that you don't have to be in a state of confusion, you don't have to think that these are your relations who are standing in front of you. And the entire grief or confusion of Arjuna, that is described in chapter 1. Moreover, Dhritarashtra, he wants to know about what all is happening in the Kurukshetram, in the battlefield. That's when Sanjaya tells in detail about that to Arjuna. That's when first shloka, Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutsavaha Mamaka Pandava Shaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra asks Sanjaya, what are my sons and the Pandavas doing on the field of Kuru? And that's when Sanjaya continues saying that Duryodhana has approached Dronacharya and tells him that you should be prepared to fight these sons of Pandu because there are a lot of warriors who are there. And you also have Drishtaketu, Drishtaketuschekitanaha, Kashirajascha Vidyavan, Purujit Kunti Bojascha, Shaivyascha Narapungavaha. So, there are many people who are there in the side of the Pandavas. Duryodhana says, therefore we have to be very, very careful. And at the same time, he says that on our side also, that is on the Kaurava army also, there are good people, good warriors, Bhishma, Kripacharya, Ashwathama, Karna, Vikarna, and so on. So therefore, all together, let us all prepare our lives. And thus it seems that Bhishmacharya, he roars. He is the Senapati on that day. He roars like a lion also and gives joy to Duryodhana, gives a hope to Duryodhana. So all this description Sanjaya is telling in detail to Dhritarashtra. Moreover, even Arjuna as well as Krishna, they also blow out their conches. Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadattam Dhananjayah Poundram Dadmau Mahashankam Bhimakarma Vrikodaraha. Panchajanyaha is the name of the Shankham of Bhagavan. Vrikodaraha is another name for Bhima. Vrika Udaraha, it seems that though Bhima was a great bodybuilder also, his stomach was always flat like a vrikaha, like a wolf. You would have ever seen the stomach of a fox, wolf, lion also. They might be very strong, but they don't have their tummies which is falling down, right? Or which is hanging down as we call. So they were all very, very fit. So that's how the name comes in. So like this, each of them, they all, Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha. Ananta Vijayaha is the name of the Shankham of Yudhishthira. So like this, each one of them, they blow their Shankhams that are there. That's how the war is about to begin. And at that time, Arjuna, what happens is, in shloka number 20, basically of chapter 1, Atha Vyavasthitan Drashtva Dhartarashtran Kapidvajaha. Kapidvajaha. On the flag of Arjuna, we had Kapi, that is Hanuman. And there, Arjuna pravritte shastra sampate dhanurudyamya pandavaha. That's when Rishikesham tada vakyam. Arjuna questions Krishna saying that, you please take, now Arjuna we know is the Sarathi of Arjuna. Sorry, Krishna is the Sarathi of Arjuna, right? So Arjuna tells Bhagavan that you please take my chariot to the middle of the battlefield. Let me look at both the sides. And thus Sanjaya is telling all this description to Dhritarashtra. And Krishna also takes the chariot in between the battlefield. And that's when Krishna at that time, at this point also, shloka number 25 is very, very auspicious, because at this point also Bhagavan tells Arjuna, shloka number 25, Bhishmadrona Pramukataha Sarvesham Chamahikshitam Uvacha Partha Parshetan Samavetan Kuruniti. He tells Arjuna, though Bhishmacharya, Dronacharya, all other kings, elderly people, gurus are there on the other side of the battle, you please pay your homage to them, please revere them. This itself shows the importance of a guru in one's life, wherein even though they might belong to the enemy army also, still you must behold them high. And that's when Arjuna, between the battlefield, he sees his fathers, grandfathers, uncles, brothers, nephews, sons, cousins, everyone is there. That's when he gets karuna in his heart and says that these are all my own people, I cannot kill them at all. My body is not supporting me, my mind is not supporting me. Even this Gandiva, the bow that is there, that is slipping away from my hands. I do not want this kingdom, I do not want any happiness which is related to it. What if my own people are not there? What is the use of this kingdom? So therefore, I do not, oh Madhusudana, I do not want to slay them at all, even if they attack me. And what pleasure will I get ultimately after killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? They might have done a lot of papa karma, but still I cannot kill my own cousins also. And their thoughts are full of grief, they might have enmity in their minds, but I am not of that kind. And very, very important thing which Arjuna tells in shloka number 40 is कुलक्षये प्रणश्यन्ति कुलधर्माः सनातनाः धर्मे नष्टे कुलं कृत्स्नम् अधर्मोऽभिभवत्युत. When a vamsham is destroyed, even the traditions that are associated with it, that also comes to an end. Rest of the family also is destroyed. So there is no use to all this. What about the women folk of the family? Even the next generation also will not be born properly. So all these things will come in, the entire family might be destroyed. And you see, whenever you see very close family members or so, even in our own lives you would have seen this, right? If two real brothers are say fighting with each other, at that time obviously people from outside, maybe far off relations also, take this as an opportunity to fool us, right? Because they know, and that's why it is always said that you within our close circle or family members, even though you might have an argument, you should not argue in public. Simple reason, you would have heard your grandmothers, elderly people saying this, right? Do not fight in public, or do not always share your personal matters in public. You might have enmity, but whatever is there you do in the house, not outside. Why they tell is, a simple human mentality is, when a family itself is fighting amongst themselves, people from outside will take an advantage of that, thinking that, oh, this family does not have any unity amongst themselves only, they keep fighting, so we should make the best of it, take an advantage of it. Small learnings, but all this has been told by Arjuna in the Krishna, or to Krishna in chapter 1. So therefore, he tells that further I know that those who destroy all these family traditions, they will all go to hell only. So therefore, it's very difficult for me to actually fight with this entire army. I cannot kill my own people. So thus, the last chapter of last shloka of chapter 1, Sanjaya says that thus Arjuna, he keeps aside his bow, arrows, everything. He sits in the seat of his chariot. His mind is full of grief and he does not know what to do here. A few important shlokas from chapter 1 is chapter 1 itself, shloka 1 itself of chapter 1. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha. What does this shloka tell is, every journey that is there, it actually, or any conflict, it all begins in a battlefield, right? It might not be a battlefield like the Kurukshetra Yuddham, but any small problem that we all are having in our lives, we are all fighting a battle only, right? It may be there in our minds or with our close circle, whoever it is. But at times what happens is personal jealousy also. Like here, Kauravas and Pandavas are actually cousins. But still some personal fights also might lead to a big battle. And at that time, that itself is the thing which might cause lot of problems later. So amongst brothers or among close relations only, at times lot of conflicts come in. But every conflict has got a solution. Most of it starts in the mind. Everything leads to a battle only. In our minds every day we are fighting some or the other kind of battle. Next is shloka number 24 of chapter 1. Evamukto Rishikesho Gudakeshena Bharata Senayorubayor Madhye Sthapayitva Rathottamam. When Arjuna tells this, at that time Sanjaya is actually telling this. What is happening in shloka number 24 is, Arjuna tells that, as told by Arjuna, Krishna places the chariot between the two armies. So that's when, at a time when you have to take a decision also, you must act promptly. You must trust in guidance. Like Arjuna here surrendered to Bhagavan, seeking guidance from him. And at the same time, you must position yourself strategically. Like here, Arjuna told Krishna, you take my chariot to the middle of the battlefield so that I know what is there all around. Similarly, Krishna also does that so that he gets a clear view of what is there around. That's when he could see both the armies. He could see the Kaurava army, he could see the Pandava army, and he could see that both of them were fighting. So at certain times like this, even in life also, we need to position, see around things all around properly. so that we can take the necessary actions. At the same time, like Arjuna, seek guidance from Krishna. Similarly, all of us also, we must trust in reliable sources. Similarly, the last shloka, shloka number 47, Eva Muktvarjuna Sankhe Ratopastha Upavishat Visrijya Sasharam Chapam Shoka Samvigna Manasaha. At the times, what happens is giving up on one's duty will ultimately lead to only crisis and problems. And at that time, what happens is one needs to search for a guide, some wisdom, some purpose in life. Like in this case, when Arjuna was doomed down, that's when Krishna comes to his rescue. Similarly, for all of us also, when life is always challenging or you are facing difficulties also, the Lord ensures that one beam of light comes in, one door opens, and that's how all the, it's a ray of light, right? We all have our own experiences. Maybe some guru steps in, there is some person who comes and guides us, or maybe something might motivate us. Like the same thing happened in the case of Arjuna also. So this is the gist of chapter 1, wherein one must identify, when say life can always throw its ups and downs, right? But one must always identify one's own inner problems that are there, address them, come to a solution with the guidance of our own gurus, our own lords who are there, so that necessary action can be taken. So the gist itself of chapter 1 tells that first is to identify what is wrong. Now every day I am feeling low, something is happening to me. You just keep complaining about that every day, doesn't help, right? You need to come to a solution. Nobody is telling that I can find all solutions by myself. We need to seek the guidance of a guru or a learned person or the Lord Himself. The Lord Himself sends a right guru at the right time in our lives. With the help of that guru, one must able to fight. One must able to know our own conflicts, our own problems that are there, and slowly come out of that with the help of a proper guru. So the importance of a guru in one's life is described in chapter 1. Moreover, the first step is to identify what are the things that are affecting me. Maybe you see every day, say let's talk about a simple example. After eating something or so, you see your sugar levels are getting high, right? So maybe I don't know why, but after my night meal or so, the sugar level is always going high. That's when maybe you identify that I eat more of rice, at that time say my sugar level goes up. Maybe I eat chapati something, then my levels are normal. Maybe you do this for 2-3 days, you notice, okay, maybe now rice I have to reduce a bit, because of chapati the level is not going up. Small thing, right? But this is how we identify what are the conflicts or so that are happening. So first is identifying our conflicts, fighting with them, what problems are there in me only. Lastly, to seek guidance from a guru like Arjuna did in the case of Krishna. You don't have to even go and tell all your problems to the guru. A right guru will always find out those things and guide. Only thing is we must go and surrender like Arjuna did in the case of Bhagavan or to Bhagavan.